Hello, my beautiful babies, and welcome to Children of Dune Club Session 2. That's right, we're getting in there. We're reading from this 2019 copy of Dune, and this we're talking about pages 53 through 99. The last sentence of this session ends with, "I am proud of you." But before we get started, I want to tell you about my back to school Dune pack. That's right. On DanikaXIX.BigCartel, we've got some sexy Dune merch for you, as always, and that really helps support this class. So in the back to school Dune pack, oh my gosh, you get so many cool things. We got a Bene Gesserit School for Humans notebook. We got a Chome sticky notebook. Oh my god. Look at these sticky notes. I've been using them already. Space and Guild highlighter. We got a Sook School pen that looks like a syringe, so you can pretend to be a fucking Sook School doctor, give people injections. And we have a Mentat juice of Safu flavored lip balm. Ooh. It's so nice. And then on top of that, we also have, you get a 3-inch 19 Academy sticker. You get a Litany Against Fear prayer card, keep in your wallet. You get a letter, little acceptance letter from 19 Academy saying thank you so much, and also a Alia bookmark. It's with the boobies. I got it censored for Twitch, and I also signed the inside cover of your notebook too. So there's that, and also we have some Abomination Alia prints available, as well as just the bookmarks available, and coming soon. We have a couple of products shipping out in September. The Spice Melange CBD lip balm. Kind of smells like cinnamon. Ooh. It'll keep your lips nice and moist against the desert winds of Arrakis. And then we also have a Bathwater of Life pendant necklace coming soon as well. So if you want to support the show, support the class, you can go on down there. DanikaXIX.BigCartel.com. Okay. Sorry. Children is the third book. Excuse me. Did I say second book? My bad. I meant third book. Okay. Thanks for catching me in the chat. This is the third one. You know what I mean. Whatever. You know what I mean. It's fine. I know what I'm talking about. Totally know what I'm talking about. Okay. And so let's get in to our session 2. So in this session, things are heating up. Now that Jessica's back, she's busy sussing out the situation with the help of Gurney and her granddaughter Ghanima. We also get a taste of Arrakeen life outside Alia's temple when the mysterious preacher arrives to give the people a warning. Back on Salusa Secundus, we meet the current head of House Carino, Irulan's sister, the ruthless Princess Wensicia, and her grudgingly loyal Bashar Tykanik. In our saddest chapter, we go back in time to that fateful morning when Alia Atreides loses her struggle against the horde of genetic personalities and how it came to be that she was partially possessed by her grandfather, the Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. And finally, we witness the Preacher's Guide, Asan Tariq's brutal test of manhood among the cast-out Fremen tribe in a secretive city called Shulock. So yeah, we're really building upon our first session. All right, we set the scene in our first session, and now we keep building upon that. So let's start with. Hold on. Where is my small graphics? Hold on. Why are we not going? There we go. Hey, there we go. So let's start with chapter 7. Jessica and Gurney. Meetings within meetings. Right? Plans within plans. Meetings within meetings. You have Jessica and Gurney meeting up post-lustration. Jessica did that dumb priestly nonsense she didn't want to do. And so now she is in Paul's Keep, and they are talking. They're having a meeting. But while they're having a meeting, while they're speaking, they're using these Atreides hand signals. They're very slight little hand signals. So they're having a real meeting within a meeting. So they're having this kind of fake meeting for all the priests who they know are listening in on all this shit. They know that the priesthood is in with Alia, and that Alia is Abomination, that she's kind of the enemy. So so they're talking about, under the guise of their other meeting, they're talking about Jack-a-Rudu comes up. This mythic forbidden city comes up again. And Gurney tells her that when they were drugging, they would drug those people they drug off who didn't kneel fast enough. They took them, they questioned them, they put them under a lot of drugs, and then tried to figure out what the fuck's going on, get some information out of them. And during that time, some of them would bring up Jack-a-Rudu, but then immediately die. Like their heart would stop. Like there's like a conditioned heart stopping thing going on. Like who's ever like in charge of these people is like putting them under some weird hypnosis where if they mention it, they will die. Like how fucking intense is that? And so Jessica's like, hey, you were friends with the smugglers because if you remember in the first book, after the fall of House Atreides, Gurney stays on the planet and he gets in with the smugglers. So she's like, hey, you need to like get back with the smugglers, talk to them, because if there is a Jack-a-Rudu, those people are selling spice and they would have to do it through the smugglers. So you need to like hook back up with these guys. Gurney's like, no problem. They also discuss how Javid is a traitor. He's the priest that Jessica took into her entourage. And she's like, yeah, he fucking hates the Atreides. I can tell. My Bene Gesserit training lets me know. Alia, I don't think she knows, but like this guy is a fucking traitor. And also, when they're parting, I love that Gurney's like, I'm going to add some more guards. And at first Jessica's like, I don't want any more fucking guards. Like, God damn it. But she goes along with it. She's like, so many people, like she has to trust his instincts, and she doesn't give him shit over it. She accepts the guards. And I thought that was super cute because she's like, you know, such a boss lady, definitely in charge, but like she still trusts Gurney and will allow the guards. It's cute. He cares about his lady, you know, he cares about his lady Jessica, and she's like, okay, fine. Okay, that's fine. Now, in our next chapter, chapter 8, we finally get to meet the preacher at Alia's temple. I really like this chapter a lot because we get to see Arrakeen city life, which is really interesting to me. Because we're always, you know, we're just so with these characters that we don't get to be in the world at all. And it's such a cool world. And so I really enjoyed this kind of taste of city life. But we meet the preacher, and he's with his guide, Asan Tariq. Asan is, he has no known Sietch, which is weird because among the Fremen, everybody knows each other. You know, it's like, where do you come from? Like, who are you with? Like, everyone's like, we don't know. And he's about 14-ish, obviously from the deep desert. And the preacher, he's fucking old. His eyes are blackened. He's like got no eyeballs. It's just black fucking pits. He has a, like I said, very grizzled, leathery appearance, a seamed face. And the thing is, there's already this rumor that this guy is Paul Atreides. He's got the voice. People just listen to him when he starts talking. You know, he's like got this crazy voice. And people are like, is this Paul? Is this Paul come back? What the fuck? But like nobody can visually identify him. Like even the people from Paul's past, no one's been able to come forward and say, oh yeah, that's definitely Paul. Because he just like, if it is him, he's been in the desert for so long that he's just been like aged so fucking much that people just can't tell. And he's also wearing this like old still suit, like one of the good ones before all these lazy Fremen, before they got rich and got fucking lazy, started making these lazy ass still suits. He's got like an original design. And all in all, this preacher was a figure from Dune's past. You know, this man represents their past. And so now we see them going into a bustling scene. They're going up to Alia's keep. This is right next to Paul's giant monstrosity fucking citadel building. Alia's keep's next door. And I love when they talked about the giant doors. Giant doors. They were doors large enough to have admitted an entire cathedral from one of the ancient religions. Passing through them was said to reduce a pilgrim's soul to motedom, sufficiently small that it could pass through the eye of a needle and enter heaven. Whoa! That's some big fucking doors. All right? Big fucking doors. It's so big that it makes your soul motedom. Reduces your soul to motedom. I love it. I think that's so cool. And so he and his guide leads him up the stairs. So many fucking stairs. But they go up to like the third landing. And on their way there, though, we get to kind of see and hear about the sights and smells that are going on. We get to see the people. One of the things that I thought was really funny is that there are Fremen who are wearing fake still suits. Like, they're just like decorative fabric. Like, they're not even functioning still suits, but they're just so used to wearing them. And they just like, that's the look, that like they're making fake still suits out of decorative fabric, which I was like, yes, I want one of those. Like, holy shit. And not only are there people who are not really wearing still suits, there are people just wearing robes and shit. I mean, that's how rich these people are now. They're just like, whatever. I don't even care. My body's moisture is being robbed. I have enough water. But there are everything from hawk sellers, people selling the Dune tarot, relics, there's face dancers, there's pilgrims on the Hajj, mummers, the smell of incense wafting from Ollie's keep, you know. And then also there's these interesting people called sand dancers, which I thought were really cool. So these are religious ecstatics. These people are all tied together with ropes. They're all dancing like to this fucking music that nobody can hear. They're dancing to the music of their souls. And a third of them are passed out, but the other ones are keeping them bouncing because they're all tied together on the ropes somehow. So like they're foaming at the mouth. I mean, they've been dancing for days, like to get into this ecstatic state, this religious state. And so one of them comes conscious, and he starts screaming, I have seen. And he's like, I have seen where this city is, there will be only sand. And everybody starts laughing at him. They're like, ha, 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 yeah, right, bitch. Have you seen the size of these doors? What? This place is never going away. Like, what are you talking about? Everyone's laughing at this fucking crazy man dancing around for 3 days. And then that's when the preacher's had enough. All right, the preacher's like, silence! And silences everyone with the voice. Everybody shuts the fuck up. Okay, everybody. In this crazy, giant bazaar, everyone stops. And he says, did you not hear that man? Blasphemers and idolaters, all of you. The religion of Muad'Dib is not Muad'Dib. He spurns it, as he spurns you. Sand will cover this place. Sand will cover you. Oh, fuck. This preacher's like coming in, letting them know. This really kind of reminded me of that scene in the Bible where Jesus gets pissed when he goes to the temple and he sees all these money changers in the temple, and it's just like this big marketplace, and like he's just like, this is fucking bullshit, and like goes like ham. This kind of had a little bit of that flavor for me. So he's like mic drop, you know, bye, turns to leave, you know, like just lets him know like, oh yeah, this place will be covered in sand and so will you. So shut the fuck up, you fucking idolaters, you blasphemers. And so as he turns to leave, someone's like, is that Muad'Dib? Come back to us. Who is this? Is that Muad'Dib? And oh my God, this dude busts out a fucking mummy hand from his robes. He busts out a mummy hand. And apparently these things just turn up in the desert. Like, you'll just be walking around, you'll stumble over something, you look down, it's a mummy hand. You know, it's a human hand that's been, you know, fucking mummified, whatever, in the desert. And these things are universally regarded as communications from Shai-Hulud. So are these hands of people that the sandworm ate and then they spit out the hands? I don't know. But he busts out this fucking mummy hand and he's like, here it is. Here's the mummy hand. I bring the hand of God, and that is all I bring. I speak for the hand of God. I am the preacher. And then mic drop again. And then he leaves, and people are like, damn, like this motherfucker's crazy. Like, this man is wilding out here. So everybody's excited. This was his first time speaking. Names himself the preacher, and then bounces. But this is not the last time he speaks. He's going to be stirring up a whole lot of trouble later on in this book. Then we go on to Chapter 9. Princess Wensicia Carino and Bashar Tykanik. So now we get to meet the Carol Baskins of Dune. Irulan's sister, mother of Farad'n, scheming with her Bashar, who's obviously bummed on this lady. Like, I love Tykanik in this. He's just like, ugh. Like, he's so, like, he was like, when Shaddam IV was around, he's like, yeah, like, this is fucking dope. I'm a Sardaukar. Like, this house is baller. And now House Carino is obviously kind of broke dick. And he's got to deal with this fucking lady now. And she's his boss. And he's just like, fuck. I mean, he's still loyal. He's going to do what he's going to do. You know, he's going to be loyal to the family. But he's just like so bummed. And she is scheming to get her son on the throne with this Laza Tiger plot. All right. So back to the Laza Tigers. And eventually she's like, oh, you know, do you think Farad'n will like the fucking title of, you know, fucking Emperor Farad'n, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, Technic's like, girl, I think Farad'n's gonna be bummed on this. I don't think he's gonna like this. Like, I don't think he's down. And she's just like, doesn't give a shit. She's like, whatever. We've done worse things, whatever. You know, he's gonna have to fucking get over it. He's sensitive. He's sensy. I don't care. I'm his mom. I'm fucking making this happen. And then also, not only is she like pulling this shit, which he's like, oh God, this is a fucking not a great idea. She's also like, I need you to adopt the Fremen religion. Okay, I need you to adopt the Mahdi's religion, and I need you to lead my son into it. Okay, not only do I need you to change your religion, like, yeah, she asks so much. I need you to pick up this religion, and I need you to get my son into it. And he's just like, what makes you think she's even gonna? She's like, he looks up to you. You're like father figure. So like, if you do it, then like maybe he'll do it. Because she knows that like, the Fremen religion ain't going anywhere. It's deeply entrenched. And if she is going to get her son on the throne, he has to be a part of this and has to be like a fucking believer for the Fremen people and everyone else in the universe to like go along with it, you know? So she's like, hey, we got to get him in on this shit, okay? And then she confirms that Javid is the traitor. He's in league with them on this Laws of Tiger plot. So Jessica's right. She knows what's up. And Javid's a piece of shit, for sure. And then she kills the Levenbreck. That fucking poor idiot from that last chapter with the Laws of Tigers, the guy who's controlling them and training them. She kills him to cover up the plot. So, and Tykanik is like, what? Like, that guy was one of my best men, you bitch. Like, what the fuck, you know? And then he's like, oh my God, I bet they were fucking. I bet she was fucking that guy. And that's also why she probably fucking did this. And like, I am never going to sleep with this Spider Woman. Like, I hate this lady so much. Like, what the fuck? And then she's like, yeah, and we're going to kill the transporter too. I need you to kill the transporter too. Like the guy who's transporting the tigers after he gets them to fucking the place, like just kill him too. And he's like, should I kill myself next, bitch? Am I next on your fucking hit list here? Because I'm in on the plot and you're killing everyone who knows about the plot. And she's like, shut up. Like, don't even stress about it. You know I would never kill you. And he's just like, I don't know that at all. I don't know that at all. Like, you would totally fucking kill me, bitch. But yeah. And so they're also sending the garments that, okay, so they've been training these tigers with they've been buying these pairs of children, you know, these twins. They've been feeding them to the fucking tigers, training the tigers, and they have these special robes on that are like super fancy fucking robes, right? So they're like, okay, we're gonna, how many were these robes we got left? Okay, send some of these robes to Leto and Ghanima. So they put them on so that the tigers will see that they're wearing the robes and then they'll fucking attack them. So that's part of the plot. So they gotta get the tigers over there. Then they've gotta get the kids wearing the robes. And then have someone over there who sets the tigers on them. So this is kind of a circuitous fucking plot, but here we are, you know. Here we are. So yeah, the Carol Baskins of Dune, you know, Princess Wensicia. She's just, she's something else. She is something else. Now let's go to chapter 10. Jessica has another meeting. She's having another secret meeting with her granddaughter, Ghanima. She meets her granddaughter for the first time. And it's funny because Ghanima was like, I know that my grandmother is going to want to meet with me privately. Like, just knows her so well that she conspires with her without being in cahoots to set up this meeting. Which is like, Jessica's like, okay, that's fucking weird. And it's also weird because Jessica's kind of like freaking out. She's like doing the litany in her head, and Ghanima like knows she's doing the litany, and she's like, bitch, how do you fuck? Like, you're freaking me out, kid. Like, shit. And I've seen some shit. All right, you're freaking me out right now, little girl. But she realizes that she really is truly scared for her grandchildren and that she does love them. And she's just a concerned grandmother. And she also sees that Ghanima hasn't turned yet. She's not Abomination. So she's like, okay, so you're good. I don't know about your fucking brother, but I know you're good. And so she does this thing, which she hasn't done since Duke Leto in over like 20 years. She lowers her barriers. She lets down. She puts away all the bullshit. She puts away all the bullshit, all of the posing and the Bene Gesserit, like, walls, you don't know me, stuff. And it's just like, lets Ghanima see her as just a fucking worried grandma. It's just like, I love you. Like, I'm really scared. Like, this shit's freaking me out. Like, I'm like upset right now. And Ghanima sees this honesty and she's like, oh, okay, my grandmother really does love me. You know, like, she isn't here just to fucking destroy us. But she also calls her out and is like, look, I believe that you love me. I believe that. But, like, I know you'd still kill me. Okay, that's not to say you still wouldn't kill me and my brother if you thought, like, that was the best thing to do. So, like, yes, I see that you love me, but I'm also know you. So don't try to pull some shit with me. And so they're talking about Leto. And Ghanima's, look, he's not Abomination, I swear. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll take your word for it. And then they talk about Alia for a minute. And that really triggers Jessica. And Jessica's like, she knew then that she still loved her daughter, crying out silently against fate. Alia, oh, Alia, I'm sorry for my part in your destruction. I should have never left here. It was cowardly of me. And it's like, oh, she loves her baby. She loves her baby Alia. And she does feel bad, and she does take responsibility. But that's the thing. It's like, you need to tell Alia that. You know, I think that a lot of us could really use those apologies from our parents where they fucked up. You know, I think it's just so cathartic when you get that fucking apology, and then you can, like, okay, cool. Like, thank you. All right. I just needed the apology. Okay. I just needed the apology. All right. And then we can move on. But, like, she knows that she fucked up. And Ghanima comes in and is like, why do you blame yourself? You'd reached a limit. I know that. Leto knows it. Even Alia may know it. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, she wishes she didn't leave, but at the same time, she had reached her limit. And there's a point where if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. So if you keep going, after you've reached your limit, you're going to burn yourself out, and then you won't be able to help. You'll be even more of a hindrance than if you were gone. You know, so it's just like this really fucked up position that Jessica was put into, where it's like self-preservation, or I try to help, but then I probably end up mucking things up even worse. You know, it's a tough fucking place to be in. Then they confer on the preacher. Like, is that Paul? And we're like, Ghanima's like, we don't know. We need to find out. And then they talk about Javid being a traitor. Everybody knows he's a traitor. Talk about Javid. And then they talk about Alia some more, and Ghanima, the reason she set up this meeting is that she's worried for her brother, because she's like, Alia works a strange attraction on Leto. Like, something's going on there. Leto's finding reasons to go study her and be alone with her, but then when she tries to speak out against it, he'll just like fall asleep. And she's like, it's like, what? Like, and Jessica's like, do you think that she's like hypnotizing him and shit? And she's like, no, or drugging him? Do you think she's drugging him? And she's like, no. But he's always talking about, like, he's like, sometimes I fear that Alia wants Leto to seek out Jackarudu. And then it's like, oh, no. You know, like, Jessica's like, not that word again. Fuck, this place is weird. This place is fucked up. We don't know what's going on here. We got to figure this shit out. This Jackarudu shit is, like, not doing well for me. And she's like, don't worry about it, Ghani. I already got fucking Gurney on it. And then at first, Ghani's like, wait, why would you send Gurney? And she's like, oh, yeah, because he knows the spice smugglers. And she could just look back in her genetic memories and find out. And that, like, freaks out Jessica again. You know, she's freaked out at the beginning of the chapter. She's freaked out again. How truly strange it was, Jessica thought, that this young flesh could carry all of Paul's memories, at least until the moment of Paul's spermal separation from his own past. It was an invasion of privacy against which something primal in Jessica rebelled. Momentarily, she felt herself sinking into the absolute, unswerving Bene Gesserit judgment. Abomination! You know, and that's kind of like that whole thing about, like, old people, you know, when they're brought up, like older generations, when they're brought up in a certain mindset, you know, it's like It's like when your grandparents are like super racist, you know, and they're just racist. They're just programmed that way. She's like, abomination, you know, like that's just what she grew up with, which is like, abomination. This is abomination. This is not okay. This is like a super bummer. But also we talked about this in the Q&A last session about what of the memories do you get? And this was confirmed. I said you get the memories up until your parents have sex. Like you get all their genetic memories at that point when they had sex. But then after that, you don't get their memories because you're not, you know, it's like it's coded into your DNA. So that was confirmed in this. So I was like, okay, I was right. I didn't lead you guys astray. I was like, yes, okay, confirmation. But at the end of the chapter, we do find out. So there's this big rumor that Lady Jessica has returned to the sisterhood. You know, I mean, once a sister, always a sister. She may have strayed, but it's rumored that she's back. And then she confirms it at the end, saying Leto must be separated from his sister, must be trained as the sisterhood insisted. So Jessica is back with the BG. Big news. Big news. So chapter 11, let's move on here. Whew, this was our star chapter of this session. Wow. Really great fucking chapter. Sad. So sad. I have so much love for poor Alia Atreides. I have so much sympathy for her character. This is the morning Alia succumbed to abomination. We go back in time. Poor Alia. She's reflecting on the Fremen spice orgy. And she's thinking about how, like, man, like, she's, like, kind of bummed because she sees these Fremens who become temporarily possessed in the spice orgy. And they get to just lose themselves for a moment. They get to forget about their shitty genetic memories and all the pressures of everything, and they can just forget and have a good time at the orgy. You know, they could just forget and have a great time and lose themselves. And that Alia has no such outlet. She has too much awareness juice. There is no way for her to ever just put everything aside and forget everything and have a good fucking time, you know? And it's interesting when she's talking about the spice orgy, I was thinking about, like, when you're in the club. You know, I've been in plenty of clubs. I used to work in a club. And it is interesting how it's kind of like a spice orgy when you're at, like, a hot happening club where everybody's, like, feeling it, you know? Like, when it's, like, hits, like, 2 a.m. and everyone's properly drunk and the music's fucking going and everyone's sweaty and everyone's dancing and everyone's just forgotten all of their problems. You're just out there on the dance floor grinding, having a good fucking time. And, like, that's, like, what the spice orgy is. But this poor girl, she not only does she have her genetic memories, but she also has the memories of all the Fremen Reverend Mothers passed to Jessica in the Spice Tau. Again, I forgot about that in the Q&A last session. In the Spice Tau, all the memories of the Reverend Mothers were like mentally somehow passed to Jessica from the old Reverend Mother, you know? So not only does she have the genetic memories, she's got all of those fucking memories, which is like a whole other bunch of shit. And she's been afraid her whole childhood. I mean, she's just been afraid of becoming abomination her whole childhood. She knew about becoming abomination in the womb. Like, she was already aware of it in the fucking womb, okay? This has been something that's been hanging over her entire life. And then she's also been assaulted every day by these inner voices. I mean, like, she never gets a moment of silence and peace to herself. I mean, there's always these fucking assholes in her fucking brain. They're like, hey, what about me? Hey, let me tell you about something. Hey, like, they're just like always fucking with her. And she's fighting every fucking day. And she's not asking for anyone's help. You know, she's not asking for anyone's sympathy or pity. And she's doing all of this on her own. And then her brother dies. Okay, so it's already hard enough. Then her brother fucking dies. Her mom's already gone. She marries a dead man. She's responsible for bringing up Paul's 2 babies. And she's running the fucking government of the universe. Okay? This woman is like, it'd be bad enough if, like, say your brother died and they just had 2 newborns and they're orphaned and now you're a new mom. It's like, oh great, now I have not 1 baby but 2 babies I have to bring up. And not only that, I've got to run the fucking government. Like, I'm the fucking president of the earth now, you know? It's like, what the, like, that's so much. It's like your brother dies, you marry a dead man, you've got 2 children, and you have the weight of the entire universe Imperium on your shoulders. Like, what the fuck? Like, this poor woman. And so the pressures of responsibility had driven the old fears away, and she had been wide open to the inner lives, demanding their advice, plunging into spice trance in search of guiding visions. So, I mean, she's just under so much fucking pressure that she stops being careful about it and is like, I just need help. Let's spice trance. You know, I need to talk to these motherfuckers because, like, I don't have anyone that I can confer with. Nobody knows what the fuck I'm dealing with, and I don't trust anybody around me. So, like, I'll just go into my inner lives and, like, talk to them. And that's why it happened. You know, it's just too much pressure was put on her. She had to do all these spice trances to fucking run everything. And so she becomes weak. And the crisis comes one spring morning. She's taking a pre-breakfast walk out on the roof garden. And also, she's also had a bout of insomnia. Okay, because insomnia, I mean, I can't imagine having to deal with this inner assault. But having to do it not on a good night's sleep, oh, you're fucked. I mean, you're fucked. Like, I've struggled with insomnia myself. And it's brutal. You know, it's brutal. So she couldn't sleep over this decision to put this bold man, Ace Paimon, a Chom spy whom had been caught, to death. At first she wanted to hire him, and she did. You know, she was like, hey, you're a spy. I could kill you, but I'd rather hire you because you seem like you're a good fucking spy, and I like your boldness. You're being really saucy to me right now, and you could be just, I could chop your head off right now. And so he's like, yes. And then later Javid is like, oh, we heard him say that thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So he's gonna kill you, girl. And she was like, what? This is how I'm fucking repaid? And so she has him killed in her anger. But she's like, oh fuck, maybe I fucked up. Maybe Javid fucking lied to me. Maybe I was hasty. Maybe I shouldn't have killed that guy. And she has this tension, you know, that she's dealing with, where she's like, did I make the right decision? There's too many fucking decisions. Oh my God, this is the worst. And Alia sighs. She felt small choice between hells, the outcry of her mind or the outcry from her attendants. All were pointless voices, but persistent in their demands. Hourglass noises that she would like to silence with the edge of a knife. Like, she just wants to, like, kill everybody. Like, she's so put upon that she just wants to murder everybody. And who could blame her? And she's trying so hard to keep her cool. You know, she's trying to meditate. It's not working. Like, she's just trying to, like, focus on some mundane shit. Can't do it. You know, it's just like she's so unbalanced at this moment. And she becomes so unbalanced that she succumbs to the onslaught, the wave of personalities within her kind of take over, and she feels like she's drowning in them. She lays down on a bench. She's paralyzed. You know, her attendant's like, oh, she's just taking a nap. She's like, no, she's in the fight for her life right now. Like, she's fighting for her life. She's losing her fucking mind. She's like, oh no, this is it. I'm gonna succumb. Like, I'm gonna be drowned. Like, I can't. I'm too tired. Like, this is a problem. Oh, and then the Baron's voice comes out of the darkness. It's like, hey, hey, dun dun dun. The Baron returns, and he comes to bargain with her. And he says that he will aid her against the swarm. He will shut them the fuck up. Keep her safe from their nonsense. If she shares her sensory contact with her senses during sexual activities. And he's like, hey, look, these other people, they would just take you over entirely and get rid of you. Okay? And then they could do it too. And they know you so well that they could impersonate you, and no one would be the wiser. I'm not trying to do it like that. I'm trying to help you out, granddaughter. You just let me fuck in your body, and that's it. That's all I ask. And I will give you this counsel, but I'll let you stay. I'll let you keep your own personality. It'll be super cool. They start discussing Javid, and the problem of Javid. And he's like, look, let me take him as a lover. Let me fuck this guy. And then when we're in bed, I'll be like, oh, haha, fuck that Paimon guy, and see if he can get him to admit that he lied about this whole thing. And then if he can get him to lie, he'll fucking put a crisp knife through his fucking ribs. And then he's like, oh, and the blood will just help with your stimulation. He's just like, oh, fuck, you're so crazy. And he's like, plus, he's like, you know what? Your husband, Duncan, he won't mind. He's a computer. He's a human computer. He's not even here half the time anyways. You know how distant he is. He's a computer brain. He'll get it. He'll understand. It's fine. He'll understand. And I know you're hot for Javid. I mean, I know I'm in here and I know that you're kind of hot for this guy. So like, this is a win-win-win for everybody. Okay. You win. You get to fuck Javid. I win. I get to fuck Javid. And then I get to hang out a little bit and have some fun. And then you get to not be bothered by all these motherfuckers intruding into your mind all the time. And he offers to mentor her. He offers to help her rule. It makes her feel better about ordering Paimon to go to ordering Paimon's death. Being like, you know what? Even if you got tricked, that guy was a dangerous motherfucker. That guy was dangerous. So good for you. Like makes her feel better about the whole situation. And then he gives her some major Machiavellian advice about justice, which I thought was really like, whoa. We talked about this in War Club a little bit. Machiavelli's the prince, you know, and it's just like how it's very amoral. Ruling people, you have to take morality out of it. That's at least a school of thought. And so the Baron is under that school of thought, and he says, decisions must be weighed only as their merit in maintaining orderly society. Past civilizations without number have foundered on the rocks of equal justice. Such foolishness destroys the natural hierarchies, which are far more important. Any individual takes on significance only in his relationship to your total society. Unless that society is ordered in logical steps, no one can find a place in it, not the lowliest or the highest. Come, grandchild, you must be a stern mother to your people. It is your duty to maintain order. You know, it's just like, whoa. And this whole quote really reminded me of this book I read by Harold Bloom called The Luciferian Principle, which very much talks about social hierarchy and how humans are these hierarchical animals and that we're not able to escape it. You know, it's like it's inescapable. And how the sooner we understand this and accept this fact of life, the better we will be able to navigate life. When you take out this ideal of fairness and justice and morality and realize like that isn't the reality of the situation. The reality is that we are hierarchical animals. We need it. We use it. We naturally do it no matter what, which is it's an interesting book. I highly recommend it. Because I mean, he even goes on to say you acted to maintain order in your society. Now there's a good reason for judgments, not this justice nonsense. There's no such thing as equal justice anywhere. It's unsettling to a society when you try to achieve such a false balance, you know, and I was like, oh shit. So yeah, definitely check out the Lucifer Principle if you're interested in finding out more about how humans really work. Now, after this, Alia accepts the Baron's help. And she's like, okay, fine. I'll do it. I just need some fucking help. Like, I'm so put upon. And this is a small price to pay. This is fine. Everything's fine. This is fine. And her guard Zia is like, who are you talking to? She's like, oh, my inner lives. I'm not talking to my bear. I'm not talking to my evil Baron fucking grandfather. I'm not fine. I'm not possessed. I'm just talking to my inner lives. And Zia's like, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. She's like, hey, I need you to bring Javid to my quarters. Don't let anybody know. You can stand guard, but that's it. Okay, this is important. Don't let anybody know. And yeah, and it's also too revealed that Javid is the key to Jakarudu. So again, here we get more Jakarudu nonsense. He's the key to this, which is interesting because Jessica, when she met him, was questioning his accent. She's like, where the fuck is this accent from, dude? You're not speaking, you're speaking weird. Like, for a Fremen. Like, even for a Fremen, you're like, this is weird. Like, where the fuck are you from? And he, like, dodges the question, you know? So him being a key to Jakarudu, is he from this forbidden city? We'll find out. Yeah, the scribe. Give the Baron a sensual inch. He'll take a mile. Oh, my God. Yes, absolutely. So this is, God, what a good chapter, but how sad, you know? It's like, and it's like you feel for her. It's like, I get it. Like, she doesn't have any friends. She doesn't have anybody on her side. And someone's going to actually, like, help her out with this fucking nonsense. These assholes are, like, in her mind, always up her ass about everything. Like, oh, seems like I get it. Seems like a fair trade to me, man. Like, I don't want to deal with that shit. Who would want to? I feel so bad for her. I feel for, yeah, that's right, Kaz. I feel for Alia. I feel for my girl. Now on to chapter 12. This is our final chapter. And this chapter, I love the beginning quote for this chapter, because it's like we had such a, like I said, a Machiavellian, amoral look on government with the Baron, and then now we kind of get a similar thing, except for religion. This comes from the Missionaria Protectiva of the Bene Gesserit. These are illusions of popular history which a successful religion must promote. Evil men must never prosper. Only the brave deserve the fair. Honesty is the best policy. Actions speak louder than words. Virtue always triumphs. A good deed is its own reward. Any bad human can be reformed. Religious talismans protect one from demon possession. Only females understand the ancient mysteries. The rich are doomed to unhappiness. So I love the religious engineering of the Bene Gesserit. And so they're like, yes, in order to have a successful manipulative religion, you have to say these things. You have to say that evil men will never prosper. You have to put these illusions. She calls them illusions, because again, they're just these are ideals. They're not reality. Of course, we see fucking evil men prosper all the time. Honesty is not always the best policy, like virtue does not always triumph. So I like that kind of juxtaposition. So we get into, so now we're out in the desert. We're in the deep desert in this kind of secretive city called Shulak. And you have Muriz and his son, Asan Tariq, who was the preacher's guide, and 6 captives. And it's time for Asan's test of manhood. His father, Muriz, says, among the cast out, we have a special test for manhood. One day my son will be a judge in Shulak. We must know he can act as he must. Our judges cannot forget Jakarutu in our day of despair. Kralazek, the typhoon struggle, lives in our hearts. And they're water stealers. These guys are fucking water stealers. All right, these are the Fremen that bum other Fremen out, who kill Fremen just for their water. They're like, oh, you're out here, we're gonna fucking kill you, like anybody. And so a long time ago, the Fremen all got together and they're like, we can't have these people causing chaos, just killing other Fremen for their fucking water. Okay, these cannibals. I mean, essentially they're like cannibals. We can't have this. And so Jakarutu was their siege, and it was destroyed by the Fremen. They're like, we gotta get rid of these fuckers. And they thought that they wiped them out, but apparently some of them are still around, and many of them live in this deep desert Shulak city. And this also reminded me of a thing, one of the older quotes from Dune. There is no escape. We pay for the violence of our ancestors. So it's like you have this vicious cycle where these people were killing people, and then everyone got together and killed them, and then now they're pissed, and now they're still killing people, being like, well, you guys owe us water. You fucked up our siege, so we're gonna steal your water. It's like it's a vicious cycle, like atrocity just arms the future for more atrocity. It never ends. And Asan, or his father, then goes after Asan, kills all these dudes, 6 dudes, just takes their water. His dad says, their water is ours, but their shades are yours, your guardians forevermore. Their shades will warn you of demons. They will be your slaves when you cross over into the Alam al-Mithal. And then he tells them, you did great, but don't tell the preacher. Don't tell the preacher, though. Like, you did great. I'm proud of you, son. You fucking killed those motherfuckers. You stole their water, but, like, don't tell the preacher, okay? Just keep it on the DL. But yeah, I love the idea, though, that it's like, oh, their shades will be yours. They'll be your slaves, They will warn you of demons when you cross over into the Alam al-Mithal. And I feel like I was kind of doing a little bit of research on the Alam al-Mithal. And as far as I can tell, it's kind of like the astral realm. It's like the realm between God and between manifestation, where it's like, maybe it's kind of like not like a purgatory, but kind of like Yesod in the Kabbalistic tree of life. So yeah, I thought I was like, oh, fucking cool, man. But that's it for session 2 of Children of Dune Club. Session 3, we're going to read page 300 through 148. And the last sentence is, it worked, Leto said. So if you are not reading from this book, if you're reading from a different version, Just read until you see it worked, Leto said. So that was great. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. And now we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to take some questions from our Patreon people. And then we'll take some questions from you wonderful, wonderful people out there on the Twitch chat. So we will be right back. 19 Academy thanks these lovely people for all their generosity and support on patreon.com/DanikaXIX. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, ring the bell, and tell your friends. You can join me live on twitch.tv/DanikaXIX and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DanikaXIX. Support for 19 Academy comes from viewers like you on patreon.com/DanikaXIX.